We say welcome to our listeners, welcome to our viewers. It's Monday, the 14th day of July, 2025. It's to the point. I'm your host, GT. Thanks for being with us, folks. Certainly hope everyone is having a great Monday morning so far. Looking forward towards a productive week ahead of us. Those of you of our social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning to you. Certainly nice to have you with us this morning. Let me say good morning to Mr. Sylvan McIntyre. Good morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Good Monday morning to you, GT. By extension, the GBN family.
Yes.
And all our listeners, or viewers, or followers, our contributors, a very, very warm and pleasant morning. Yeah. I wish everyone a great week this week.
What's your weekend like?
My weekend was really good.
I had a pretty restful one myself.
You rested quite a bit?
Yeah, for some reason I just decided, hey, this weekend I ain't doing nothing.
Right.
I literally decided I wasn't going to do nothing from Saturday. Mm-hmm. I just stayed home, chilled, watched the television.
Right.
Decide put the foot up and relax. That's what I did mostly for the entire day Saturday.
Oh,
yesterday morning, the morning period, similar.
Right.
Until I came here to GBN maybe a little after 1 to kind of get the cricket going at 1 p.m. and then stood here for about an hour left, went back home and just chill. I thought it was, some weekend you don't decide, hey,
cool.
I'm gonna. It's like a me time.
And sometimes your activities during the course of the week dictate what you do on the weekend.
Yeah.
For me, I had a very full, very packed week. I had a few meetings, I had a few engagement training sessions, and on top of that, I didn't say to you, that was part of a film that was being done here in Grenada. So I was around with the filmmakers doing a couple of shoots around in some places. And you know that could take I don't know if it's starring, but I know that could take a bit out of you. It's one of the things that I love. I love doing. It's one keeps me engaged, and I said to a group of people last couple of days, why do you do what you do? And I said, you know what? I like helping, and I like doing for people, and seeing people relieved, their situation change morally or otherwise. I said that's my payment. So when I do these things, any avenue of contributing towards people's enjoyment, people's lifestyle becoming different positively, it makes me feel good. So I really don't get tired of doing it, to be honest. And
sometimes you see that overall benefit that derive from it.
Yeah, man, of course.
On a personal level.
Yeah.
You're getting less great than me.
Yeah, because I cut it off. Yes.
I'm just saying it in the context for sometimes that fulfillment you get from doing things for others, seeing others move forward when you do something that directly or maybe indirectly you offer an assistance to them. Sometimes that individual may not even know, Mr. McIntyre is behind what's going forward for them.
That's correct.
Those are things I like to do sometimes. Not always in the forefront, but sometimes you offer that assistance to someone. They don't even know, GT's involved.
Yeah.
And I sort of did that over the weekend too. Someone called me and asked me for assistance with something on a technical level. And I just talked it over the phone how they could get that taken care of.
Yes, man.
And the individual that they will be assisting would not know that I'm the one that contributed towards it.
Okay.
You understand?
That too is good.
So it makes you feel fulfilled. And then I got the call, hey, we get it working,
Nice.
Simple like that.
Nice.
You understand?
Very good. And an expansion of what you're saying, though, is the quality, the content of our program that people have been commenting on positively. And I was at a cricket last weekend. I met a few people that spoke. One guy that was walking through the stadium, he said, I follow you every Monday, He said, I follow you every Monday. And then I met a gentleman, Zai, good morning. I met him at one of the supermarkets. He said, do you really thank you for that quality of the program that you really give? I said, well, he said, do people really tell you? I said, yeah, people really express appreciation for the program. And as you go along, you see some of the things that we mentioned from start.
Yes.
We look at the Grand Tang issue, we look at some of the traffic issues and so on that come up, and the expression of people saying they feel a sense of greater safety and all of that. It is so rewarding, and so I don't think I could lose the energy for doing things like that. What I'm intending to do, though, is to build the capacity for transitioning to other persons to take on the job or the task that we started.
Yes.
You have to create a legacy that people can really go on and create that contingency planning and succession. Whatever you do, succession is really critical. So the things that are really contributing positively, we could continue to build on them. So there should be the next Sylvan McIntyre in the not too distant future, taking up the positive side of what I do, so that Grenada could continue to benefit from what we are giving intangibly. We need to give some flowers.
Yes.
But before we do a little bit of the flowers, one of the activities I got involved in last week into the weekend, though, I was at the Grandance shopping mall area.
Yeah.
And I went upstairs, the cooperative bank, to deal with some business. And when I looked up, I was speaking to one of the attendants of there, and I said, but they give you one of the better view. You are sitting right over the swimming pool.
The pool, that area where the fishes and stuff is in there.
The swimming pool. There ain't no fish there. The strip
of the Grandance shopping mall.
Yes, the Grandance shopping mall cooperative bank upstairs.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. You're talking about.
So when I got upstairs,
yeah,
you look over. It's a wonderful view. And when you look down, there was a swimming pool that was created. It was just naturally made.
Okay.
The strip of road that they just paved,
yeah,
it created a swimming pool. And you laugh, and yes, it is so annoying, it is so disgusting that after a new portion of road is being built,
I'm just following the direction
that where I'm going in.
Yes.
Yeah, people were so happy that strip of road, but I think if it was a mechanic that did it, he was going to do it different, because he probably was going to run a line when he finishes work to ensure that the vehicle is well aligned
properly.
But if you run a strip of road like this, and there's this big area, this massive extent of area where the water is settling, the smell, the disadvantage in terms of waterborne insects and other things breeding from that, the cocoons that would come from the mosquitoes and all that in that area, and the runoff from the drain on the opposite side. But no, to add to that, the entrance and exit on both sides, still one vehicle could enter and exit.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman who spoke to me about that, and he was so disgusted that look.
Someone actually did call into our program.
Could we do a strip of road like this, and then still you have to wait for somebody to come out before you can get in? I don't think that is. I understand the drain in that area. It's a big project. It's a huge undertaking. But my God, it has been there for a while.
Yeah.
We should be able to move that a bit more. And the inconvenience of persons in a little rainfall, that water settles, so people can't walk. The motorists that come through the lower vehicles, the water spill into the carburetors and other thing, and they would stall right there. That should be fixed.
I like the way you describe it, though. It's a swimming pool.
Yeah.
The view of a swimming pool.
And the co-op staff member that I sat, she laughed when she looked over. I didn't realize I had a pool view. I said, oh yeah, definitely. And that's one of it. And one of my observations, again, and we're going to speak about it a little bit, even before the flowers. So forgive me, viewers and listeners. The closure area, that area that is made impassable.
That's a conversation that will be ongoing.
I'm going to speak about it a little bit, but the sign that says no through road, I have some property up on that end.
Yeah.
And when I got to the bridge just after Mellows, I saw no through road, and I was wondering, well, how far do I go with no through road?
Yeah.
And another gentleman stopped and he said, Mr. McIntyre, where do I go? How far? I said, well, I really don't know. And then we had a conversation after he said to me, oh, maybe that strip of road enclosure that is broken, you can't go all the way. I said, well, you know what? The sign should say to people, road broken at the closure area, so you can't go beyond a certain
putting
point.
it at that point is a set of throwing you off in terms of your...
It's good that you know early enough so you could divert.
But in terms of the actual location where the no-through is,
yes,
that's a bad point. It's not a bad
Even if somebody had written it on a piece of cardboard, a piece of Bristol board, and said up to closure, that would give greater clarity. And I think sometimes
from that point there, it means that you can't go through that road, period.
You can't go all the way through to Guave.
Exactly.
But the guy was living in closure, and he wanted to turn back. And he was going to miss it then, because he would have had to come all the way and go back up through Broadgrove and go through Belvedere and go around to come back up to get. And all he had to do was just go through Windsor, go through Bull Road and get into closure. So I'm saying, not just that road. There are a few road signs and other things. It takes a little bit of more thought into it. If you put up a road sign that is generic that says no through road, all the police or somebody else has to do, road officers, put a little piece of cardboard or something and said, road is broken up to closure. So people who have lands and property or who live that area, they could know, well, you know what? I can access to that point and not beyond. That make, in my opinion, very good sense.
Who's responsible for developing those signs or putting those signs up, per se? Who's responsible for that?
Traffic and police has an implied responsibility for road safety and road signs and so forth.
But the proper signage, per se, we understand the police and traffic department.
But roads, walks and so forth.
But having the proper sign erected, who's responsible for that?
There are multiple areas of responsibility. It depends on what. Now, if there are persons who are assigned a project for doing a strip of road, they have a responsibility.
They have responsibility for getting the signs up.
To get signs up. Okay. But overall, police has a responsibility for the safety aspect of it, to ensure that those signs do read and say and be placed where they should be. And the strategic responsibility lies within Ministry of Works, Communications, etc.
So that's where the shortfall comes.
Works and utility
with contractors and the ministries, and so having that correspondence before these projects are implemented. Knowing that there's going to be a detour, the proper detour signs are put up, the no-through signs, make sure the proper markings are on the detour, not just the detour only, but the no-through. And that complete information is put up.
More information is really required. And to our disadvantage as road users, and people who are moving quickly, getting business sorted out, maybe there might be some emergency or otherwise, they have to reach to a certain point and maybe not understand what they need to do, and it irritates people, make them a bit peeved, so they start throwing insulting words at you when you drive through because they're angry. And so it's a spiraling kind of effect in terms of making people move to a negative area of reaction. That has its implication for road safety. So if we can do the little things, the signs, they are critically important. If we do them properly, put a little bit more thought into them as to where and how they should be placed, it's going to make life more comfortable for everyone and safer. And I thought I needed to really put that in. And the closure area, I think it needs a very serious intervention right now. It is threatened. If you look at it, there's a link that shows what's going on there and so on there.
I had a view of it. There are some people also. The latest videos that came out, which was done, I think, was on Saturday. Someone did some videos there on Saturday.
So it seems it's not just an action of liquefaction, but it seems as though utility lines, there's a suspicion that there may have been some utility water line or something like that, so that may have been leaking in that area for some time. And it exacerbated, get worse over a period of time. And so it requires, I think, a more urgent sense of action, since it is a great disadvantage for the unique people that live in that area, closure area, that would be cut out from the
natural
West Coast.
aesthetic of the area now is eroded badly to a point.
I would probably take a personal look into it. I have not gone there myself, but with the reports that I got from people who call me and speak to me about that, it's really concerning. And I think we need to give some urgent action and do some remedial work, because it's a really great tremendous inconvenience of people from the closure areas who have to divert and go all the way on the opposite side to get access to the things that they really need to get. And it is raising a wider concern in terms of our maintenance processes. Over the years, we've done some work. Utility and otherwise, water, electricity, and some of our retaining walls. And the 100+ years they have served their time.
Yes.
So there has to be some national, in my opinion, inspection process, including our bridges that I spoke about earlier on in our program. A lot of them are cracked. A lot of them need replacing. Some of the walls that are coming down now, they shouldn't really be coming down. The survey and documentation of the years and time that these things have been built, there should have been a systematic inspection process. Mark them for retrofitting, rebuilding, or taking down, and they should be done accordingly. They should be marked. As a matter of fact, caution signs should be placed on those, and the tonnage of vehicles should be indicated. What kind of a weight capacity should be allowed. Yeah. Over the years, we've seen the increase of these huge Sacram and other trucks that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ton truckers on our roads, and the trailers that move through.
Roads were not designed.
Or roads were not designed. They were not built for that. And if they are undergoing those kinds of weight, it means that if they had to have done 150 years, they probably do 90, because the pressure exerted on them would certainly degrade the quality and the integrity of the structure itself. Yeah. So we need a stronger effort where that is concerned, so that our road safety or persons going through these things, we don't want to get to the point where one of these things collapse and we lose some lives or so forth. Yeah. That would be a tragedy. We don't want to get to that point. We have to live with too much of these pains unwarranted. And so the thing that we can do before time, we are very, very reactive. We must go past that stage where we wait for something to happen and fix it up. There's a process. We do have engineers and persons from across our islands they've been to proper institutions of learning. Some of them have experience. And so we should engage them in doing those kind of a surveys.
Sometimes they're not even utilized at the level that they should be. Sometimes it's just general conversation I had with them.
Yeah.
You understand? General conversation.
And mind you, GT, I'm almost certain that some of these activities I'm speaking about, they are being undertaken, some of them.
Yeah.
But the point is, they're not known. And that's a weakness in the system.
And then the implementation part of it is not put it after this. I believe there were studies done on certain things.
Yeah.
But then the actual implementation, sometimes they look at cost and stuff for that beforehand work, as you would say, before the actual project. Let's do this before that is done. And sometimes they don't get implemented because of the cost that may run into.
Yes.
And and then after something goes wrong, and then we see where that added cost comes in now.
Yeah.
You understand?
So absolutely. Before we close this segment, GT, we didn't do the flowers because I for reason of me forgetting what we had to have said, I had to say it.
Yeah.
But I want to make this appeal as well for people who think they are persons and things that we need to give flowers to. They can call us directly and let us know, so we can shout it back via this means as well.
You may know of someone that we should show some recognition to, or something is happening in a community that you think some recognition should.
They could call us directly. Call me or call you. Call GBN and drop it, and we could speak about it.
I want us to tap into something quickly, Mr. Mack. I didn't brief you on that, but road rates continue to be a problem in Grenada.
Yes.
It continues. Was it Friday of last week? And I'm noticing the behavior of individuals.
And why? You want to
understand? And why does it continue with simple issues? You understand? Simple issues. An individual will behave in a manner that could lead others getting themselves involved in conflict with them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And why folks still? I think sometimes I say to say that individuals I see doing it, people of a mature nature too.
Yes.
You may say, well, as young people are driving and they just get their license and all of these things. But sometimes you watch individuals who you consider to be of a mature individual.
Yes.
Behaving in that particular manner when they're on the roads. It's a cause for concern.
Yeah. It's a long way to answer that question. There are quite a number of things, and I have been on the receiving end of it a lot of times. Sometimes when I throw my windows down and I respond otherwise, and people realize, okay, and then they change the attitude. Like recently, I stopped in a particular area. It was very, very brief, and I went to get something, and there's a vehicle that was something. I didn't realize I was obstructing the vehicle because it was a longer vehicle. Yeah. And when I came out, the person was there. They hung there, and I came through, but it was only a few seconds getting us something. And I said to the gentleman, sorry. And his return was sorry, and then he threw back the insult at me and everything. And I had to say, I just said to him, take it easy, and I left. Because you wonder where the rage is coming from. It is sometimes so unnecessary. People you drive around and you drive maybe in a particular way, and people will just throw the insult at you, the obscene. So there could be a number of reasons for that. One, we have to really go back to how we culture our children to take up their position in society, and how we teach them anger management and de-escalating of issues and so on. It goes deep, as I said, way back in the family. So things that how some people behave in their own family circle and in their own community, how they get up, they transfer that into the workplace and on the road. So if we start talking to people how to speak and deal with situation internally, you realize in workplaces a lot of these activity has to be undertaken. Employers have to spend money in trying to get people into doing good customer service, because the way they handled some things is just not acceptable. And so we really don't have to be wary in letting people know you have to stop, think, count once, count twice, 3 times, swallow some saliva before you respond. And then before you respond or you do something, ask yourself if it's really necessary. And one of the things I do a lot in terms of overtaking, the times the tendency come and you want to overtake and people want to overtake, I ask yourself, well, why am I driving at that speed? Why do I need to overtake?
So whatever would take you just to stop in front of you, Mr. Beck.
And you wonder why. And I would say, if I want to overtake, somebody might be going slow. And I say, well, that person is going too slow, let me pass. And I said, well, what time am I getting there for? Is there anybody? Why am I?
Would it make any difference?
Would it really make a difference? And sometimes when people drive on the road, you really need to ask yourself the question before you overtake.
Yeah.
Is it necessary? Because I've heard of recent time, even within last week, there were 1 or 2 accidents that occurred because people just overtook. And it was not necessary to do that. Maybe they thought there was enough space, and maybe they just think that the person in front of them was going too slow.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things you need to process. What time do I need to get for? And would that change the price of sugar if I decide to just overtake the person?
And sometimes folks have to understand their moods. Everybody have different moods. I understand. And I think individual, if they have that clear sense of thought, should say, I feel I'm in a good mood to drive today,
Yes.
Because I may get upset with the individual.
Right.
Because I'm looking at someone coming across the car last Friday, as I mentioned, and I wasn't driving. I was parked and watching them. Usually the carnage traffic has a slow way of moving at times.
Yes.
And that individual was upset that everybody was slow in front of him.
Yeah.
And he was constantly honking his horn. I'm not sure if he had an emergency or whatever, and then he was like trying to cut through everybody and cursing.
Yeah.
I thought it was totally unnecessary. So you can't go fast. Nobody should have gone faster before him. Now it was moving.
So let me say this, GT. Let me say it to all drivers and road users then. Settle your issues at home and in the house sometime before you get to the street. Fellas and ladies, they come out with the tabanca issues and they want to put it on the vehicle and put it on people. Settle your tabanca issue, your marital and your domestic issue. Do not bring it on the street to other people. Just tell yourself, GT is not the one who caused you to be going through what you're going through, so I don't need to speak to GT in that kind of a way. The vehicle is not the vehicle, it is what caused you to be in the state of mind that you are in. So put these baggage where they came from. Blow your nose where you catch your cold, and do not try to sneeze in the public that people who are not wearing masks going to get it.
I would not have put it that way.
I put it that way.
It's a conversation too when it comes to customer service. Sometimes employees of particular businesses have their own personal issue that they throw out at you as a customer visiting the business. I have seen that happen to me many times. Sometimes I want to blow up too, but sometimes I just keep my cool.
No, you have to hold it on.
Saying, well, I'm not the one that's causing you to have a bad day.
Right.
So back we had to take a break.
That was a long intro this morning.
Yeah, but we had to take that break, and when we come back, stay with us, folks, on the Point Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Somebody go out to face it. We taking them back to basic. carnage, this year go hard to face it. I'm here, the 25th, look out for Soti the General. I tell you, somebody go hard to face it. We taking them back to basic because of the catastrophic carnage, go hard to face it.
Not there, somebody go hard to find your bad man. I know they on that, I know they on that. Somebody go hard to face it. I tell you, somebody go hard to face it. 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 Somebody go and shake it. One events and break it. Somebody go hard to.
Stumps ready? The biggest party in sports is back. It's Republic Bank CPL 2025. Bowls off August 14th to September 21st. 34 matches, 6 teams, 6 nations. Your Caribbean cricket frenzy. From big sixes to deadly yorkers, catch every boundary, every wicket, every moment. Live on GBN TV and Classic Radio. This is not just cricket. This is CPL. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Glen and Hubbard. Republic Bank CPL 2025. Don't miss a ball.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers. Welcome back, Mr. McIntyre. We had a pretty lengthy intro this morning.
Yeah, but I don't mind.
But sometimes there are the things that you just have to bring to the fore.
Yes,
things you just have to bring to the fore because sometimes you keep it embedded for too long and then you just don't get it out.
But what we're saying is not really for us.
But it's expelled for our listeners and viewing public.
And for them to expand on it and for the issue to really be addressed.
And sometimes those are the things that we don't talk about much in this country.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time on the political part and stuff of things, and these basic problems that exist. We spend a little time talking about it. And I think that's what caused it to deteriorate to the manner it's been deteriorated because we don't spend the time.
It's definitely not really pointing a finger, but if we had to point a finger, so be it. So be it.
Our conversation, of course, our topic this morning, we want to talk about, of course, disaster assistance process.
Yeah.
There's a process that has to go through, and especially when a disaster occurs.
Yeah.
It happens, and the decision has to be made in terms of assistance.
Right.
Whatever form that it has to, it starts, let's say, post a disaster, we know there's a recovery process now. Folks may need food, they may need whatever they need. So
galvanized lumber and all that. Of course,
all the things that folks may need. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And especially when it's coming from the local, regional, and international bodies that have to show us that assistance.
Yeah.
How does things start? The development for people for individuals who listen who may not understand, and they may say, well, things taking long, or we getting help and it's not being disbursed, and all. These conversations happen from time to time.
Yes.
Because we may hear that, so much things come into the island.
Right.
Yeah. And we're not seeing it, and we're not hearing about it, and stuff like that. Talk to me in relation to
great. And I would give really a general cover on that in the interest of time.
Yeah.
And I was the National Disaster Coordinator during the response for Hurricane Ivan.
Yes.
And up to recent times, people have been meeting me and they would say to me, Mr. McIntyre, I have not gotten anything for Ivan as yet.
Nothing to it, Mr. McIntyre.
Exactly. So there are a couple of things that has to be understood. And as we spoke about Carrico at length yesterday, and this drove me to really kind of expand on the process that sometimes people don't understand. One of it is your system and structure that is in place before something actually happens. And how well do people understand it? There are people in workplaces, ministries, departments, and agencies. There are no standing operating procedures. Sometimes there are actually no plans as to how, if something happened, it will really fan out. So it goes all the way back to what you have before something actually happened. versus when it happened.
Yeah.
And how well you expose those instruments to people, your staff, your workers, you let them know if something, it simply goes back to say, staff, you all are working here. These are the exits. The lock-off for the electricity, that's where the main panel is. The lock-off for the water, that is where it is. If there is a fire, this is where you pass. If there is something, an earthquake, also this is what you do. If there is something where we have to evacuate the building, this is how you do it, and this is where we assemble.
Yeah.
Simple procedure. It is written, is documented for everybody to follow. So people understand and they know. The other aspect of it is how do people at the local level know what they should do and how it fans out. The other thing that really impact how those things that you have written happen is the magnitude of actually what happened.
Okay.
It's something just a community just have a little flood or a little fire. The process of dealing with it would be different to when your entire system is destroyed. It goes out of compliance. It goes out of its own sequence. It takes a longer time to get it in. And as I said before, especially if you didn't have it right in the first instance, you have to try to put warning place. And plans are only as good as when something happens. So you may have the best plan written, and when something happens, it changes the picture totally. And this is why plan reviews are necessary. Yeah. Once it is written, you make people know what it is. You have little workshopping and little twice at least per year with the general staff, having them understand what you having access to it so they understand it, right? Good. Now the magnitude may make a major difference. People in Carriacou and Petit Martinique and to an extent in Grenada, a lot of people have said, things has happened, it's a year gone and some things did not happen. Why? Again, you may ask, was I forgotten? Did somebody take the thing and they didn't give it? Was there disparity? Or, was the thing not equitable? Was there some bias in terms of how people distribute what they distribute? So it goes back to, one, the magnitude. When things happen so great, the period of time for getting assistance, it may not happen as quickly as you expected. Two, the facilities that are designed for coordinating these things, they may not be there to be able to do it, so you have to make shift.
Or the efficiency level of it also plays up.
That's correct. And three, the people and persons who were originally assigned and are expected to make these things come alive, they too are severely affected.
Yes.
So that put a whole bigger picture in what has to happen. And the fourth aspect of it is, how do you prioritize the things and the people that need to get particular assistance within a given time? That is not the easiest of things to do. But leading into all of this is your damage assessment and needs analysis process that we spoke about in our previous conversation.
Yeah.
So at the national level, that process is undertaken, the damage is assessed, the needs are identified, and then a distribution process needs to take place. And that is in the early emergency. When you have a national crisis, let us roll back into the different tier levels that happen, like it is local, regional, and international. At the local level, there's the NADMA that is responsible for coordinating smaller events and extending its effort beyond local when it becomes a disaster. Yeah. And beyond local now happen to be the CDMA system, the Carbon Disaster Emergency Management Agency. So they have what you call the regional response mechanism that involves a team that is called the CARICOM Disaster Response Unit, the CDRU. So they are the ones that come out early after the event. They would be accompanied by a RNAT, Rapid Needs Assessment Team, that would come from the region to make an assessment as to what happened in a country. The CDRU would come up to assist the local entity. In this case, if it's Grenada, they'll be coming to complement NADMA. They would engage the National Disaster Coordinator to ensure that there is continuity, that they're plugged in and they're not doing something different to what the national entity requires. So if they come to Grenada, they must engage NADMA. In this instance, we have Dr. Walters. He must be part of the process. And the Prime Minister is ex officio, the head of disaster response and so forth. He has to be part of the game as well. Or if he designates a minister, otherwise, they have to be part of the picture. Now, the CDRU now speaks on behalf of CARICOM, SEDIMA, and look at the regional response. And there's also the international community that gets involved. You have the FEMA, you have the WHO, you have the Pan American Health Organization, you have the WMO, the World Meteorological Organizations, and so forth. They form part of the regional, the international response. They too need to feed in. So you understand, you see the chain I'm linking. You have the community disaster assessment taking place. It feeds into the NADMA. The NADMA realizes it is beyond the capacity. It goes into the SEDIMA regional. SEDIMA and the other entities realize that they too have to extend on what has to happen, and the resources come through from the FEMA and the WHO and the PAHO, etc., and it comes to help nationally. Now, people may figure out, well, how do they know what I really need? I think you remember earlier we mentioned that there is a 4 to 8 hours immediately after something has happened when you need to do that rapid assessment.
Yes.
And then there's the next couple of days, the next 24 to 48, and you go into the next day and the next week and so forth, when the needs and the what really is required, the assessment processes, that would change. When that comes in, the prioritizing process has to take place. So it starts at the community level. You figure out, water and health is of critical need in that community. Electricity has to go back up because you have to get the hospital and other things running. When it gets to that point where the emergency phase has worked its way out, the reconstruction and the rebuilding, who do I need to give construction material? Who do I need to give galvanized? Who do I need to give cement? Who do I need to give lumber and so forth? And who needs to be attached? That process is not an easy undertaking. And I've not known any process where everyone was satisfied.
If someone is to counteract that, Mr. McIntyre, and say, well, Grenada is a small island, Carriacou is a small island.
Yep.
Look at the other cases. Why, as a small island, we can't have that sorted out in the shortest period of time? Because of the fact it's a small island in comparison to bigger countries.
Small island, big problem. So
the smaller the island, the bigger the problem.
I wouldn't say so, but you have a small island, you have a big problem. In the sense that we call ourselves, I think we call us third world countries. Yeah. I don't know what the third world means. I didn't even want to accept like a third world, because when you look at what we do, and our ability to do things, we up with first.
We up the ladder.
Of course.
It's just that we don't.
And they also call us small island developing states. I don't know if we're still small and developing in some case. Our geographical setting may be small.
Yeah.
But our minds and our ability seems to be large, right?
Yeah.
And I think we've developed for quite a while. So I don't know if we're still small island developing states or we developed. I think Grenada has developed tremendously, and we have to be proud of that. So yeah. So in some ways, our access to particular resources may be limited. Yeah. And so we'll have to depend on outside entities to provide us with some support. One of the things I think that need to be mentioned and spoken of and to be really re-articulated, things coming through our ports, our customs and our port authority. They have a function in emergency and they have a normal function to perform. And if you look at our gross domestic product, what is contributing most significantly to that is our revenue through our customs and our ports and so forth. Our tourism is part of our GDP, what it generates. Agriculture and other things, they go down lower down on the chain. Yeah. And now we have the performing arts, agriculture and so forth, informal sectors that do make the contributions. But if you listen to our finance people speak, and they'll tell you our revenue collection through our ports, they do contribute greatly to our gross domestic product, our GDP. And so when something happens, there are determine things as to what should be tax-free, duty-free for a given period of time. If there are any other things based on what happened, has to be given some concessionary or moratorium or a period of time when no taxes are being collected on that. The cabinet meets and decide on these items and give a period of time as to when those waivers would be. And people have to understand those windows, and people don't listen. The other thing that is discouraged during time of emergencies and disasters are people sending barrel and boxes and named to individuals. These things will not happen as you expect them. It is not normal times. And the Customs and Port Authority have to protect the integrity of the country, because the bad people would jump on the opportunity to get unauthorized, illegal stuff through that emergency process. So don't vex with the Customs and the Port Authority.
Open for them, right?
Yes, they would have to scan through these things to ensure. And I can tell you that even during burial situation, I know, and people can ask me if they wish, and I have been confidentially informed that there are some things that went through during the burial response that were illegal.
Okay.
People capitalize on the opportunity to send things by different means to the thing that were named for persons or through the cover of relief. They send it through and they get to people to make their business, their illegal business, happen. And so law enforcement, which happen to be Customs too, and Port Authority and police and immigration, they have to ensure that they stay on top of the game and ensure that when things are assigned to people, it will not get to them until it goes through a sorting process. So people cussing NADMA and they cussing Customs and they cussing the Port Authority that my barrel was sent to this person, my box was sent, I didn't go. You are not encouraged to do that in the midst of the emergency. Allow the national system to work its way through. Things that come through, the NADMA system is expected to take override responsibility for all of those. So if there are things that come on people's name, they are expected to put them aside until that emergency process goes through. Then people can come and claim these things.
Yeah. And
people don't understand that process. So they said, I send this thing so long for people. There are people who send things I know to St. Vincent where I was, during burial, during Ivan, and up till they have not seen it. Because during the initial stage, there is this mass chaos. Other people may have access to it. It may get covered under something that is not known. So if you want your process of relief to take place properly, post a crisis, please allow that initial period of a week or two to go through when the systems are up and running, and then things would be sent to individuals as named. So when packages and boxes come and they are assigned to John Stevenson, it will be placed in a corner someplace with Michael Shipura and Jenny Vivegs and other it will be placed there so that when things are back and running,
a level of normalcy that comes in, then
people are going to get their stuff.
Some attention to that, and then you may have perishables or whatever. You may have to understand.
That's correct. And I think people need to, and I think this has provided, in my opinion, a lot of clarity to some people, because they've been cussing the national system and seeing they ain't getting this and getting that. They can't take on sorting and getting things to individual in the mix of the emergency period that's happening. When things are coming to the country, it's for everybody. So regardless of where your family happen to be or your mother, your aunt happen to be, if water comes, it's for everybody. Food comes for everybody.
So that's where there's certain types of things that are sent to the country, especially during that particular time. Folks who are sending should have an idea. Hey, maybe I shouldn't do that.
That's correct.
Or maybe better if I send the financial part of it.
That's
where the folks could
making good sense.
Obtain it to themselves than sending them boxes and barrels and stuff, because you feel maybe I don't want to send them the money they will spend it bad. As some folks think.
And what people have to listen to as well is what the country needs happen to be, and not what you think they want.
Yeah.
We've seen people send down all kind of winter clothes, and they get 2 left shoes and everything else, and they get ice ice and everything that they don't really require, and then a lot of things perishable, what you call not perishable, but you have also expired items coming that people really don't want. So that's a long conversation.
Yes, I mean, you sum it up in a nutshell, but it's basically what we're trying to say. There's a process that things have to take place, especially post, a disaster, and the assistance that people have to receive. It doesn't always run as smoothly as you would like it to, and that's the reason why I asked a question. Also, we being a small island, should it have been an easier way for the process to take place in comparison? And you said it's pretty enough. Small island, no problems.
Big problems.
You understand?
Yes.
The bigger the problem in terms of having things done in a particular way.
Yes.
I hope folks may understand that in terms of what we bring it across. Just a little island and Grenada thing should take place faster.
No, it doesn't happen so.
And
the faster the minute should happen is that people should just come, walk in, take things, or just send things, and people should come and pick it up and go with it. Don't happen so.
So, Mark, we drew for a break. Folks, 435-2041. When we come back, we entertain your calls. Of course, if you do want to contribute something towards our conversation this morning, feel free to do so. When we come back, don't touch it out. Stay with us, folks.
Looking to shop online from...
Yes, people, it's me, Tongue God. Don't do your man that. Remember, GBN, Spice Up the Carnage. I will be there. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that, girl. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that, girl. Don't do your man that. Your man don't... Oh, God! Ladies, make sure you come my people support. I will be there. Boom. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that, girl. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that, girl. Don't do your man that. Your man don't deserve that. Oh, God.
Calling the CARICOM community, assembling Global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Welcome back once again, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to the Point Classic Radio GBN TV. Myself and Mr. Sylvan McIntyre this morning. Interesting conversation from the intro.
Yeah.
Sir. And I certainly love how you explained that our main topic of conversation this morning, the process that folks are doing, especially when in getting assistance.
Yes.
And some folks we know maybe still having the notion that, well, I ain't get no help, I ain't get no assistance.
Right.
Sometimes it's the error may not be, the authority sometimes.
Yes.
The error may not be always based on the authority. Sometimes it's individuals who are involved with the authority.
You're right.
That's where the problem really comes from.
Yeah, you're right.
And, they may give priority to things that or individuals or other instances they may give priority which they should not have.
Yeah.
We all know some favoritism always plays
human nature. It doesn't only happen in Grenada.
Yeah.
I know it have happened in other places where I've been too. So it's the nature of the beast, really.
Always plays it there. We lost that caller. 435-2041. The lines are open for you listeners and viewers. If you want to call via the WhatsApp, do feel free to do so, or you can call the direct line. We do have our first caller.
Yes.
Caller, you are live. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, President.
Mr. McIntyre.
Yes, sir. Good day.
You have spoken about many inconveniences described by many so-called, don't have me as the other man, responsible persons.
Yes.
For example, we have engineers, that's construction people, and you talked about some road that have been constructed and irregularities taking place.
Yes.
I'm asking myself, what kind of engineer we have?
I don't know.
We have engineers that on paper, or engineers that could carry out things in a practical and modern way. Because many of the roads that have been constructed are poorly constructed. Many of the houses, as they call them, modern houses, are poorly constructed. Look at many of the houses that have been constructed in Grenada over 300 years. And they've been built with white lime and perhaps some other things.
An egg.
And yet they're standing up more than those that have been built 10 years, 15 years gone by.
Okay.
Why? It is because we have so many so-called engineers. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, we have to re-educate some of these people in modern-day engineering. Not those who have done 40 or 50 years. In fact, we have people who are going to study engineering.
Okay.
And all what they know is the different words involved in stress and force and this. And they cannot tell you how much force a quarter-inch steel could take before it could burst. This is what we have to know. It's not only putting steel anyhow, anywhere, up building concrete, and you don't know the, as they would say, the ratio.
The PSI and so on. Yeah.
Some of us, we building houses, and we didn't learn possible, we were not educated. Education means fit to live and fit to live with. We do not know how to speak to people. In fact, we have people in government who are not doing the right thing. You're talking about signs. Who giving advice about those signs? Where they should be put up and how they should be put up. Some of them signs are ineffective. They need to be reconstructed. For example, look at, we have the drill yard house building. Instead of we repair it, we building other houses and we renting it from our people, from other people paying huge sums. Instead of rebuilding the drill yard and other house, government or the library. In fact, I saw Mr. So when some bricks fall on somebody, you would advise them to sue the government, the bricks in the library.
I want to say thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, of course, and I appreciate your contribution this morning. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good one. Let's take another caller. Caller, you're live. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Good morning, yeah?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I don't know if that's the right program to lodge this complaint, but over the last 6 months or more, I've been hearing about a wall by the church in Granans, right? Going on by the church in Granans. Somebody own a wall. Now, we're going into tourism season. That road will be very busy. You know, I've heard all kind of complaints, and that wall's going to fall, and it's going to be fatal. It's going to cause probably death. Can somebody please look into that? Because there is tourism coming in this place, and that road will be very, very well used. And fate might happen that the wall collapse and kill a lot of people. Please, Mr. McIntyre, if you could look into that.
Yes, sir.
They fix that for me, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. There's a sign when you come from Magazine, down on the beach by Red Tongue there, saying no left turn. When you go right, you're going back into the airport. So there should be no right turn instead of no left turn. I went down there the last time and I see no left turn. I go right. When I'm going right now, I'm a man coming up with a vehicle. You want to run into me because he's telling me there's no right turn. The sign saying no left turn, so you don't want to go, so you go the other way.
Okay, sir.
So they need to change that sign and put it in the proper place.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you for your observation.
So that's an example of an inappropriate
sign. Yes.
That's not representing the actual
what
thing
it should,
that an individual should do. 435-2041. 435-2041. You know, our previous caller who spoke about that wall that seemed to, for some reason, we hopefully not. But there's a sign placed on it now that
says danger.
Says danger. But that's been there for a wee bit.
Yes, but that's all it said, danger. And there's somebody who's responsible. I think I did take a picture of who was responsible for the sign. I think it was one of those responsible entities anyway. Okay. But it's a state entity that know that is a wall of concern.
Okay. Caller, you live. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning, gentlemen. How is everybody? Everybody
good,
okay?
Sir. Yes, hi.
I had a blessed weekend myself in any case, There was a storm passing a year ago, Beryl. But we got cinema and the side of the garden have two slides came down, stood in the road for a good while. They take away all the mold and they go and put back the mold back inside the slide we came out, and the slide still way by the garden right now up till the best day. Then pull it back up in the mold. Now if you put back the mold back in the garden and the slide where you came out, it just stay. It remain. I don't put back the mold back, it will dry up. They go with it. And they leave the empty hole, two big holes there now in the garden. So when the rain fall, it's shelling until the post and that might come down. In any case, I find out people who do it real backward. Who do that? When you have a slide like this, you have to put back the mold back inside the slide. Put it back, it will stay along the thing, whatever you want to go settle back up. No, I let them the government to go on the area, clean up all the drains and things. When it's coming, soon come. When it's soon coming. Clean up even Tantin drain, good grade. Yes, some stuff right by the bus stop, not saying anything wrong about in Tantin, by the garden, some stuff. Right by the bus terminus, by the bus shelter. And then rainfall is shelling all the stuff on me coming along by the graves, and end up in the drains. Clear up that stuff completely. Take it out completely out. And the sidewalk will be much easier for the worker. I never come on the sidewalk, a lot of stuff. Clean out Tantin drain good. Tantin drain need grading. From the top to the bottom by Polaroid, they need grading, the whole drain need grading. You have concrete slab in the bottom of it. But you have a more on top it. And if somebody can't flow as it should. So let's get the whole place all about clean up and thing, the drain clean up and thing, and thing will run nice and smooth. Even the drain, my monos down there, Glen need clean out, the mouth of it need clean out, because it's full of sand.
All right, sir.
So
Thank you.
One time you must have flood and thing in the place and thing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate your contribution this morning.
So I think what some of the callers are speaking about, including the last caller, about maintenance of drains, etc. It speaks of an ongoing process of environmental care and concern and maintaining. So it has to be an ongoing process of maintaining those things, and not just when the hurricane season or the rain season
or when something occurs.
Because with climate variability,
notion that we do have also.
With climate variability, we do have the intrusion of the rain that comes in at time when you don't expect it. So it tells us that we just need to be on our game all the time.
So true. Caller live. Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, good morning to you, GT, and good morning, Mr. McIntyre.
Hi, ma'am. Good
morning to you.
Well, I am going to make a request from Mr. McIntyre, and he may find it a strange one. But this morning, in listening to the solid waste program, I heard this comment that some people in Carriacou refuse to give up their garbage. And solid waste could not enter private property. Okay. I mean, I said, well, where is that going now? Hello. This one is
who would want to hold on to garbage, right?
Well, I don't know. So that's why I thought of Mr. McIntyre as being a people's person.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm wondering if you can volunteer to go to Carriacou and see whatever is the problem. Because solid waste program, I think it has closed or it will close soon. The people will have to pay after that to get rid of their garbage, and they're harboring the garbage on their property. I just cannot and I will not speculate on what is the reason for that. I would like some kind of intervention. Yeah?
Okay.
But did they specify the type of garbage that they were refusing
They said
to put
old sheets of galvanized and things.
Okay.
The man said that on the program this morning, they were collecting it free when they had the program going and so. And he said, well, the program this morning, the solid waste program, and Mr. Worm spoke. And he said, but some people, for some kind of unknown reason, are still harboring their garbage on their private property.
Maybe they want to reuse it for some reason. You haven't sure the reason
well,
why.
okay, but I mean, we don't want to speculate. That's just in songwriting.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
So that's why I think that there should be some kind of
independent inquiry as to what? Yes.
That's interesting.
So I say, well, Mr. McIntyre, maybe when you go in car, make a little look around and find out from them people why they're keeping the garbage.
Had I gotten that information before? Last week I was up there, the week before?
The week before.
Okay, well, it's only this morning he said, I heard him on the radio, because if you harboring your garbage, your rat would not stay on your property. Your rat will come on your neighbor's property. You understand?
So private property is private as far as it goes. When it affects the state negatively, the state can step in. So Ministry of Health, law enforcement, and everything else.
Ministry of Health.
They do have an authority to be able to deal with something that affects.
Intervene.
Yeah, man, to intervene.
Intervene. So that's why I say, let me put it out to you, so you will put it in your bucket list.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Great. Yeah, man.
Interesting to know. Interesting. Very interesting there. I mean, if you're getting an opportunity to have garbage of that particular nature disposed for you without a cost.
Yes.
Thinking about you now have to hire a truck, individuals to assist you to have it removed and all everything, and you're getting the assistance and you are refusing.
Yeah.
Well,
there has to be some underlying thing. And then, as I said before, the state mechanism has a right. If a vehicle, derelict or otherwise, is on your private property or anything else, and it is affecting the state negative or otherwise, the authority can step in and do certain things. Of course, they can.
Absolutely.
They could.
Let's entertain our final caller this morning, Mr. Mack. We're a little about a minute over time already. Caller, you're live. Good morning. You are a final caller, so I'll beg of you to be brief. Go right ahead, please.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and good morning to all of you. I just want to find out, these contractors that are doing all this contracting on the roads and so on, do they have insurance to cover in case like the closure incident? Do they have insurance to cover those things? Just a question. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Well, I would assume it's just a mere assumption that.
And I don't know exactly from which angle, if it's the insurance for the workers or for
damages that have occurred
over that period of time.
Doing their work.
Or whether once they take up the contract, embedded within the contract is a clause for insurance, etc.
It should be. It should be.
They should have something there, but I can't speak from any informed position on that because I'm not ministry aligned or anything of that sort, so I may not have those internal information. Right. But we can still find out.
We could.
But not just that project. I don't know I can inquire as to the extent to which insurance may apply when contracts are awarded to people.
Yeah. I mean, the contractor themselves should have a form of insurance.
Yes.
More or less. I think they should have. You never know, not only the issue that could happen on the job, but workers and so forth.
Correct.
Some kind of compensation just in case.
But in closing that closure road situation, it needs some level of urgency. It may require some deep investigation, and obviously good thing may take a while to be assessed for the appropriate remedial things to happen. So I would advise people to be cautious, listen to the authority that is responsible, do not enter into areas that are demarcated or marked unsafe or no access, and I am hoping that the entities responsible, state or otherwise, that they would treat that with some level of urgency. Underline the issue of safety factors and to do things safely and not necessarily quickly.
My thoughts on that also, Mr. McIntyre, in looking at the videos and so forth, I think maybe a new route should be put in for there, where that actual seems that it's taking place right now. Instead of going back and to the wall and all of that, I think maybe a new route should probably take into, if the lands are available to have.
And that should be looked into. Yes, absolutely.
Maybe a new route should be.
I want to go in there myself because I think I do have an eyes on some things as to recommendation, even the Molyneux site and so on.
Yeah.
I had my own recommendation for that area as well. So in that area there, I would move in and do something and look at the geophysical effects and the land space type soil, etc., and what can be happening. And I think so the other engineers, obviously. And to me, I don't think you may have to engage external engineers to do an assessment of that area. It may require, as I say, relocating the road itself, or it may require a type of redesigning to ensure that that doesn't occur in the future.
So McIntyre, that's what we take a wrap for today, sir. Pleasure as always. So we're going to do this next week once your money permits. We'll be back to do this again. Thank you so much, sir.
Everyone.
Blessings goes out to you.
All right.
Hey, folks, that's what we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed in some way or form. Maybe you sat at home and you listened, you called in. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Join us again for another edition. Join me for another edition tomorrow. Have a good one, folks. Goodbye.